40s, Madre built a self-made empire that illegally served liquor during the early parts of the Prohibition era. Her income was supplemented by providing people contacts for gambling, drugs, and running a brothel, where the neighborhood could enjoy drinking, getting high, and placing bets. Everyone knew Madre and would mostly go through her. It's been reported through the Washington Post that she had many police officers on payroll. She practically ran the police department. Becoming one of the wealthiest people in DC, constantly flashing her jewelry, expensive furs, luxury cars, and more, Madre's powerful ruling lasted nearly 6 decades and would come to an unfortunate end as she would die penniless with friends and family unable to pay for her funeral services, even though throughout her life she took care of those around her. So who is Odessa Madre? She's a story you should know. Born in 1907 to a barber and a seamstress, Odessa Madre was raised in what is often described as the Cow Town, the queen of the Washington underworld, otherwise known as Odessa Madre, attended and excelled academically at Washington's elite public high school, Dunbar, where she would graduate with honors in 1925. Described as being as rigorous as some colleagues, Madre was one of only 3 dark-skinned African Americans in attendance. Madre once described her time at Dunbar as painful, but formative. She was often teased and harassed not only by the whites, but the other blacks that attended simply because of her darker pigmented skin. Producer and creator of the documentary Odessa's Reign states that this speculated torment she endured from her fair-skinned classmates would push her to turn her skills to bootlegging and number running. You wonder what made me choose the life I did? I wonder too. Sometimes I just figured that I didn't want to be like them Yale's gals. They called me the big black mother with the television eyes. There was only 3 blacks back then. I mean, black like me. I had good diction, I knew the gestures, but they always made fun of me. Odessa began her reign at 17, first by selling liquor by the shot in a time where the selling of alcohol was prohibited. Madre changed what a mobster was supposed to look like and sound like with her sophisticated diction. Her arrest record goes all the way back to 1932. According to the Washington Post, it's been reported that she has been arrested over 30 times on 57 charges. These charges even include a neurotics violation. It was Madre's strength with running numbers combined with her people skills that quickly led her to success in gambling and networking the underground. Madre found a home in this life where she was accepted for who she was. No one cared how she looked or that she was an open lesbian. They all respected her in the hustle that she brought. Her upbringing in Cowtown put her in close relations to the Irish cops who lived there. And her fair and honest demeanor and fickle generosity meant those same cops remained loyal to her for years to come, turning a blind eye on her gambling rings when their children followed in their father's footsteps, becoming captains, lieutenants, and superintendents. When it came to Madre's own sexuality, she would address it in the same Washington Post interview. I had made up my mind not to go to Howard. I wasn't gonna fool with those gals up there. And I just couldn't keep whatchamacallit, a man? I guess I was just born to give orders, not take them. What kind of man wants to be with a woman like that? Growing up in Cowtown, you couldn't help but see what was going on. I was always a bit of tomboyish and curious. So I hung around the Jill joints and the gaming houses, and I wanted to get in on some fun too. Shoot, why should just the boys have all the fun? In the historically segregated underground, it's said that Madre bridged the racial gap with a deft hand for negotiation. In 1980, a former Vice Squad detective said this when asked about Odessa Madre. She knew practically every big-time gangster nationwide. She was what they call a counselor in the mob. She meditated disputes between blacks and whites, a referee. She kept a lot of people from getting hurt. She said herself, all the big shots were looking to do business with me. My protection would automatically be theirs, too. I said to myself, let the good times roll.